be absolutely devastating.
Oh! This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this podcast forever, and this is the worst damn podcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to G.W.R. Gonzo's Wrestling Room. Wednesday, May 24th, 2023. Got the day right today.
Got the day right. He was having problems yesterday. Yesterday was Wednesday.
I was a day ahead of myself. But I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez, also joined by Marcus Fine, as always. And we got special guest, pro wrestler Big Country, joining us. How you doing?
Great. How are you guys?
Doing good. Doing good.
Yeah, not doing too bad at all. That'll let either you or Marcus get started while I finish sharing stuff. And
hey, Marcus, you want to take the lead?
Well, I can take the lead. I don't want to take your question, though, because I know
you're fine. You're fine.
Okay. The country and I have known each other for probably right at a year, wouldn't you think? I mean, we've known each other, but we've actually know each other. It's been about a year. Where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Pekin, Indiana. I hail out of Black Mountain, Kentucky.
Have you ever wrestled in Kentucky?
Little bitty small town. No, I want to. I'm working on getting my Kentucky license, so hopefully I can get those soon.
Right. Who trained you?
I originally started training in XCW with Brandon Blaze, and then his job took him to Germany, so I trained with Spider Murphy, and then I went to AWA Supreme in Madison. I trained a little bit with Draven, trained with Bobo Brazil, and I also trained with the late Suicide Clyde.
Okay. And how long have you been wrestling?
11 years, February 24th of 2012.
All right, Tony, I'll let you go for a minute.
Big Country, what got you into pro wrestling?
I wrestled through high school, and I always watched wrestling. Growing up with my dad, like we watched wrestling all the time. And my mom, she worked at a hair salon in Salem, and they would have wrestling shows in Salem all the time. And some of the guys, which I'm pretty sure Marcus knows one of them, you guys might too, JP Smooth. JP would come into the hair salon like the night they would have shows and get his hair fixed or cut or whatever he wanted to do to it, and would give my mom tickets. So she would call and say, hey, the wrestlers come and give me the tickets for you and your dad. So we would go. And I always said that, one day I was going to be a professional wrestler. I was going to do it. And I seen a thing in the gas station here in Pekin that said XCW Rookie Show. So I messaged Danny Walker, which was the promoter, or I actually called him, and I was like, hey, I would like to give this a shot. He was like, well, come on down to our next show on this date and we'll talk. And I went, and that's how it happened. Been doing it 11 years now.
How long did you train before you had your first match?
My first match was my very first day of training.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah. The way it happened was somebody no-showed, and they were like, hey, you caught on pretty quick. You're going to get put in a 6-man tag. Don't do anything. until the finish, like get close to the hot tag, make a blind tag, do a couple shoulder tackles, and pin the person. I was like, okay, I really have no. You didn't show me that. Well, you just hit him with your shoulder, and you'll be all right. Okay,
They just threw you right into the fire.
right.
So did it go okay?
Yeah, I really didn't. I asked. I'm like, am I supposed to be a heel? Am I supposed to be a baby? They're like, you let the crowd to decide what you're going to be.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. I was cheered from the get-go. Like, as soon as my music started playing.
What are you most of the time a blue face, or most time you're a heel?
No, most of the time I'm a baby face.
Do you prefer that?
I really don't care. It's whatever the promoter wants. Whatever the promoter wants me to do, because the promoter's supposed to be your boss. So you do what your boss says. But most likely, if I go out on a show and I try to be a heel, it's not going to work. I'm going to get cheered.
Really? Okay. There's some wrestlers that way. I can see that.
Oh yeah, I see it every week.
Yep. What you said you wrestled in high school? What years was that? In what school?
I wrestled my 6th grade year all the way to my senior year, and I wrestled here in Pekin, which is Pekin Eastern. Most people know it as the Eastern Musketeers.
Yeah, man.
Well, what year did you graduate?
2006.
I'd have been coaching high school wrestling at that time.
Yeah.
I coached high school wrestling for 10 years here in Muncie, Indiana.
Marcus, if you got some more questions, I'll let you do something.
All right. Are you wearing a Mud Billy shirt?
Yes, I am.
Could you tell us what that is? I get stuff in my inbox inviting me to Mud Billy Nation and stuff.
Mud Billy Nation, they're a non-profit organization that pretty much they just have events. It's like they have a mud bog and different types of things to do because there's really nothing to do here. So they do different stuff. They actually just did one last weekend, which was a luau event, and they had a couple like local artists that do like the whole rap thing, and they did this time they did a lawnmower demolition derby. So we actually went there last year. We did a wrestling show in August, and then we did one and 2 shows there in September.
Have you?
So they do.
Have you? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
All kinds of. They do all kinds of different stuff there. I mean, they're really, really good people.
Have you wrestled in any other states besides of Indiana?
Illinois. I wrestled for Sam Cosby.
Can you read the comments? You got a lot of fans in here. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the most fans I've seen in a while.
I know, I see them.
You know, Angel Blade's in here.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, you got a lot of people watching.
Oh yeah, Crazy Casey said that I'm so proud of Big Country. I gave him his name when he started. With
Yeah.
XCW.
He did. That's a funny story. When I very first started wrestling, at XCW, I wrestled as Hillbilly, and they're like, we want to change your name. So they put me and which is he don't wrestle no more, Little Country, together. And they told Casey, like, you guys need to be big in Little Country, but Travis, you're going to be Little Country. Well, when we got shirts made for the gimmick, the lady actually did the shirts backwards, put Big Country on mine, his Little Country. So we kind of just switched names.
Hey, whatever works. I mean, yeah.
Right.
Is Little Country still wrestling?
No, he's too worried about racing nowadays.
Yeah, Billy said lawnmower demo derby is right up his alley.
Yeah, it sounds like he would like that. Yeah.
I've been to some demolition derbies, but I've never been to a lawnmower demolition derby yet.
Do you have a favorite match that you've had so far in your career?
Probably the night that I wrestled Corporal Robertson. That was, the first I got busted open for the first time, and it was a learning experience because when I first started, I'm like everybody else. I was cocky, and I got humbled a lot that night.
That's interesting. That's your favorite match. I mean, I understand. I understand that because I mean that's how you learn. So I understand that. But some people might pick something different. But I appreciate that.
Right.
Do you have a
favorite opponent? My favorite opponent would have to be my tag team partner, Brutal Ben Baker. Because me and Ben, we just go out there and literally it's a fight. Every time we've wrestled each other before we started tagging, it was definitely a fight.
Marcus, have you got some more?
Yeah. You are a hardcore wrestler. I mean, I don't think I've seen you in a normal match. Tell us about the doors match.
Oh, the door match. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was good. Like Jesse Watson, when he come to me, because he's the promoter, and he was like, hey, I want to do the very first ever 5-star doorway to hell match, but I want to do it with you. I was like, okay, how many doors are we going to use? He's like, a bunch. We ended up using 28 doors, I think he said. And then there was a lot of people. There's a lot of people messaging us like, man, you guys are trying to take over GCW. No, we're not. Our Game Changer, because you guys literally just use more doors than they do in the whole entire show. So I mean, but it was fun. Marcus was actually there. It was a good match. I mean, I like working Jesse. We always have fun.
Yeah, Marcus told me about that match. He was excited about it. He told me about it. I think he actually sent me pictures before the match of all the doors, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think there was a total of, I think we said there was like a total of 28 doors, and all of them got used.
How did you win that match? Did you win that match by a pinfall?
I didn't win. I lost.
No, but I mean, is how the winner won was by a pinfall, or is it like who went through the last door?
Yeah, by pinfall.
Okay. Is hardcore matches your favorite matches style of match to do?
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, I can do both. I do technical. A lot of people don't think I can do it, but I could do chain wrestling. I was taught chain wrestling. I mean, I would just go. I do what the promoter wants me to do. Promoter tells me I'm doing a hardcore match. That's what I'm going to do. I mean, I really don't have a preference. I've done a lot of hardcore, but I mean, with whatever the promoter wants me to do is what I'm going to do.
Have you done any death matches?
No, I haven't. But I'm actually getting ready to do one here soon. I'm doing a. We're going to do. We got a show coming up July 8th, and it's a 18 and over show. The show's called 5 Star Wrestling Presents Titties and Beer and Wrestling because it's going to be at a strip club. And I have Levi Motionless in a Taipei death match.
Okay, yeah, I know the Taipei stuff. I've seen that before.
Is this going to be? Is this down in Southern Indiana?
Yes, it's actually probably maybe 25. Well, not even that. 10 or 15 minutes from the arena. It's in It'll be in New Albany, Indiana.
Okay, New Albany.
Yeah.
Titties and beer. Okay.
Well, I won't be involved, even if it was. I couldn't photograph it, I guess. But
Well, it's going to be outside.
okay.
It won't be inside. It'll be outside. So I mean, and the whole thing is, if you want to go in there, the reason we, chose that show. If you want to go in to the strip club, you can, but you don't have to.
You got a choice, Marcus.
I don't know. I don't know Kelly to do that.
Yeah. No, you don't have a choice, Marcus.
I don't have a choice any more than you did.
He may get.
Nope, no choice at all.
Kelly may get onto him for that one.
There's no baby. She will. She's my driver. There. Yeah, I've seen him do splits. I seen him do splits at a Bo Brazil show in Salem one night.
Seen him do splits?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I can do the splits. Yeah.
This is Bo Brazil, and he said, "Look at this," and he did it. And we're all like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
Getting a lot of comments in here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah. Do you have a
Yeah.
Do you have a fantasy opponent? Somebody, that you would have the opportunity to wrestle with? It could be somebody that's passed away. It could be somebody from WWE, from AEW, from NWA, from any. If you had your choice of any opponent to wrestle, who would that be?
Nick Gage.
Okay.
I'd probably get murdered, but I'd give it a shot.
Okay.
I told you Kelly would agree with that. You won't see it on the 8th.
Yeah, Kelly said that's right.
Sorry, you won't see it on the 8th.
Best decision that you've made in your wrestling career, and the worst decision that you made in your wrestling.
Best decision. Following my dream. I always said I was going to do it. So, I mean, that would be the best decision. The worst decision would probably be getting into hardcore because it hurts your body.
Yep. I can see that.
Well, my next question, I guess, was what was your worst injury? Since you did hardcore.
My worst injury?
Yeah, or injuries that you've had.
Probably the night I wrestled Corp. I ended up with 13 staples in my head that night from a chair shot. Like the chair got turned backwards, and I ended up with 13 staples in my head. And then I wrestled the next night.
A lot of them do that.
Yep. Do you have as growing up as a kid, do you have a favorite pro wrestler that was your favorite?
I always liked Stone Cold, The Undertaker, Cactus Jack. I was a big Attitude Era kid. Like anything from the Attitude Era is what I liked.
Well, the age, you graduated what, 2006. So yeah, I can definitely see that.
Have you had the opportunity to wrestle any names, like any guys that have been on TV or anything?
No, not really. I mean, I've met a couple of guys, that's been on TV at shows. Um, I done. I was I tagged in KDW with the Boogie Woogie Boy, but as far as actually, wrestling them 1-on-1, no, I have not.
I know we got a chance to see you. It was at the arena in Jeffersonville one night.
Yep.
I can't remember who you wrestled that night. I remember you. I remember seeing you there. What was the guy's name?
Show for Bubba.
Luke Gallows was at that show. Luke Gallows. It was that show for show
Yeah,
for Bubba.
Yeah, I did. I was in the Battle Royal.
Yeah, in the Battle Royal. Yep.
Toughest match you've been in?
Toughest match I've been in, Wrestling Corp.
Because I know you said you got busted open and stuff, so I figured that's probably the
same
answer. Marcus, you got any more questions?
Yeah. Did we talk about moves yet? Wrestling moves? All right. What's your favorite wrestling move to perform? And what's the favorite one you like to watch? And then we'll go the other direction. And what's your worst?
My finisher is my favorite, the full Nelson Slam. I mean, because it's different. It's like I get them in a full Nelson, and then work the Nelson, have them jump. When they jump, I spin out and hit a rock bottom. It's unique. Worst move. I hate chops. I hate being chopped. I don't like being smacked.
I understand that. I took a few chops from some guys. I can understand that. I was all bruised for a couple weeks.
I was going to ask you if you had maybe another story you could tell us, maybe about wrestling, maybe a funny story or whatever kind of story you want to tell.
Oh man, so I was at ICW in Spencer, Indiana. Me and Little Country were tagging, and Clyde was a big jokester. If you knew Clyde Richardson, which was Suicide Clyde, he was a big jokester. He liked to rib a lot. He would rib you. So one night we're set the show, and he was like, "Hey, Country, I need your bag." I'm like, "Why do you need my bag?" Like, I had this big old suitcase that I carried around when I first started, and the thing was huge. So Clyde gets in the suitcase and zips himself up. And I'm like, "What the word are you doing?" He's like, "Don't worry about it. I'm hiding." So later that night, like after the show was over, I was like, "Clyde, why did you get in my gear bag?" He's like, "Dude, I had to pee and I couldn't make it to the bathroom because I drank a bunch of water and I peed in Little Country's work boots. So I was hiding because he come in the locker room."
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I had a question here in the comment. Ben Robertson says Jennifer wants to know if you remember when she chopped you, Country.
Yes, I do. I think she chopped me a little bit harder than what you chopped me, Ben.
What's up, Ben?
Oh, you know what time it is.
Marcus,
yeah, I'm not even used to having that. You're right. It's going off.
And we need to play that whenever we intro Marcus. We need to have that plan.
We'll just wait till this time to start the show.
That'd be good. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Maybe you get the
Any style of match that you haven't done that you would like to do?
I like to work strong style.
We know if you guys like to work strong style. Yeah, that one match that we seen that they did about 100 kicks.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing? What's your favorite thing about the wrestling business? And then what would be the one thing that you dislike about the wrestling business?
It's a brotherhood. It's a family. I can go to all the guys that I wrestle with anytime I've got a problem and talk to them. The worst thing about it is there's too much drama. People telling you, because we're independent wrestlers, people say you can't go wrestle for this company if you wrestle for me. Well, I'm not under a contract with you, so why are you telling me what I can and can't do?
Agree with you 100% on that.
That's the number one answer.
I've never understood people trying to tell independent wrestler they can't go wrestle somewhere else. I don't know.
Hey, I could understand if they was under contract and they was paying you thousands of dollars. Then I can understand that. When you're talking about getting paid $20 and $30 and $50, hot dog, a handshake, whatever. Yeah, it don't make sense, man. It don't. I think and we've said this before, and I know Marcus agrees, and he's said it too. Man, if some of these shows would come together and put on shows, even if it's just once a year, if you had twice a year, it'd be better for all promotions. I mean, we did get to see, a couple weeks ago, we got to see 3 promotions have competitors come together and work a show. Mostly DCCW and
WCWO.
WCWO. But also had people from the Kokomo promotion, AACW. So I mean, come together, and that was awesome. But I would like to see it promoted. Hey, let's do a show in Indianapolis with 4 or 5 companies. Okay, let's move to Muncie, then 4 or 5 companies, and let's move to Kokomo, 4 or 5 companies, and do that like a little tour type thing to help each promotion. I think it would be.
Right.
I think it'd be.
I think it would be a good idea.
I think the only thing I think that stops something like from that is egos. Yeah. I think that's the big thing that stops something like that from happening is. Yeah,
I agree. I think
you got too many people that think they have to be in charge or they can be the only company in this town or this town. It's just. It'd be better not only better I think for the fans, but I think it'd be good for the wrestlers.
I've seen that a lot.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I
wish there was an answer to fix it, but I don't think there is because we're dealing with people's egos and emotions, and it's kind of just the way it is.
And like if you go from one promotion to another, go ahead.
It's the lag.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you go from one promotion to another, is there big differences in like the locker rooms?
Yes. Because you have people that, the way I was trained, you go and shake everybody's hand, you introduce yourself. Even if you've met this person 100 times, you still go up to them, shake their hand and say, hey, I'm Big Country. A lot of shows I've been on, you don't get that. You just get people come in, sit down, get dressed, and they disappear. You don't see them.
I've noticed that some promotions we go all over the state, and a lot of promotions are like what you just said. Every wrestler, as soon as we walk in or they walk in, they'll come over, shake our hand, talk to you. And we go some places where you don't see that as much.
Yeah, for the most part, like one of the new promotions we went to, not a new promotion, but a new one for us, was Crawfordsville. We went there, and 5, 6, 7 of their normal Crawfordsville wrestlers that worked that show a lot that we've never seen before came over and introduced themselves and thanked us for being there, and were very very nice to us. And of course, we've got that at most places. We really had any bad experiences, so we've been pretty fortunate.
That's true. Kelly says help each other instead of knocking them down.
I agree with that 100%. But
Is Sonny a wrestler? I'm thinking he wants a piece of you.
Yes.
He wants a piece of you, it looks like.
He actually wrestles under the name Warrior Bear. And I have kind of took him under my wing and showing him the ropes. He's had a few matches here and there. He's actually only been wrestling like 6, 7 months, but I am the one that got him into it and is showing him the ropes pretty much.
Best piece of advice that you've been given when you got into the wrestling business? Maybe by a wrestler.
Don't do hardcore.
Don't do hardcore.
Don't do hardcore.
You didn't listen.
I didn't listen.
Yeah, you still do hardcore, so
yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting about that. That's probably become kind of your niche, maybe in a way. We had a promoter on, Damian Michael Cole, who hates comedy wrestling. You know what he does? He does comedy wrestling. That's what that's what he does. I mean, that's what made him popular, and that's what he does. But he really don't care for it. But that's what he does.
Right.
And been doing it pretty much, I think, most of his career. So it's kind of interesting.
Ben's comment, that would be for me. When I first started and met Ben, he told me, he's like, don't do hardcore wrestling. It'd kill your body.
Ben would know because
I didn't listen. Yeah.
That's Brutal Country. Or actually, that's his tag team partner.
Yeah, Brutal Ben's actually he's my tag team.
So he's the guy that was going to be Big Country, but you were going to be Little Country.
No. That's a different person.
Okay.
You have a Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. Your top 4 guys in the wrestling business.
Oh. Number one, because I learned a lot from him. I'd done a couple of his seminars, and he didn't get the acknowledgement or the respect that he should get. Would be Tracy Smothers. Number one would be Tracy, because Tracy's helped so many people out. And he watched every show that he was on with me. He would watch my match, and I'm like, Tracy, why you watch my match? He's like, look, you never stop learning in this business. He's like, I've been doing this for years, and I haven't stopped learning. He's like, you may do something that I've never seen before, and I can learn from you, or you can learn from me. But number one would definitely have to be Tracy Smothers. Yeah, I don't know. Too many to pick, really.
It's tough, I know.
We've heard Tracy Smothers.
Yeah,
I'd have to go King Kong Bundy. I'd have to go with King Kong Bundy because he, when I first started, they told me, watch a lot of King Kong Bundy. Watch his style. You're a big guy. And then, man, probably Bill Dundee, because I did some seminars with Bill Dundee, and I learned a lot from him as well. He actually told me if I was in wrestling for money, then I was in the wrong business because I wasn't going to make anything. Shoot. And I would go with Tojo Yamamoto.
Wow.
That I just that's one of the things, when I first started. Sonny actually asked me when he told me he wanted to wrestle. I was like, okay, I got a question for you. Have you ever watched wrestling? He's like, yeah. I was like, what wrestler wore wooden shoes to the ring? He's like, I have no clue. I was like, you need to look it up.
That's an interesting pour. And not that there's anything
He
wrong with it.
is.
Yeah, I
no,
love Tracy
Right.
Smothers because we've heard from a bunch of wrestlers about Tracy Smothers, how great he was, man. Just how giving he was, giving back. The business, that was his number one priority, was to give back. So heard a lot of great things about him.
Have you done any other seminars?
As I've done Tracy Smothers. I did Bill Dundee, Jerry Lynn. I did a Rhino seminar. Tommy Dreamer. I did a seminar with Madman Pondo
Bet you that was
on
interesting.
promos. Yeah, the seminar that he did, it was pretty. It was when I was wrestling for Kamala Jr. We had like a day camp or whatever where we could come, we could train, and work out, and Pondo was there to do a seminar on promos.
That sounds cool. Yeah,
that's a pretty impressive list too.
It is.
Yeah.
What would you estimate the biggest crowd you worked in front of?
Probably about 250 people.
Okay. Nice size crowd. Do you have a favorite motion that you went to? Like it's got the best fans, or what the rowdiest fans?
5-star. Cause I mean, we've packed every single show that 5-star has done. We've had pretty much standing room only.
Do you have any? I know you're probably busy, but do you have any hobbies?
No, you're fine. Like going to demolition derbies, and pretty much I really don't really do much. I work full-time job. I come home. I take care of my dad when I come home from work, and I wrestle. I pretty much don't really do anything else. But if most of my, going to tractor pulls and demolition derbies when I get a chance to. But most of the time I'm pretty busy, with work and taking care of my dad. Those are my two priorities that I do most of the time.
Do you have a favorite food?
Favorite food?
Yep.
Not really. I would used to say before my mom passed away, somebody would be like, "What's your favorite food?" Anything my mama cooks.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Marcus, do you have any more questions?
No, I think I'm it. Well, okay, if you don't have a favorite food, if you had to choose to go somewhere to eat, what restaurant would you want to pick then?
I think that's even harder.
Well, no, if he's not going to give us the food, maybe we can get a barrel down somewhere.
Oh, chicken nuggets, Ben. Chinese probably.
Chinese. Okay.
Yeah, G.W.R up there.
Nope. That's true.
I don't know if another funny. I don't know if you guys just seen Ben's comment about chicken nuggets, but that's a funny story as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we got time. Hit
Uh,
it.
me and Ben had just wrestled each other in a kitchen style hardcore match, which was anything you could find in your kitchen except for glass and knives. And we beat the crap out of each other. So afterwards, we go to McDonald's and we get something to eat. Well, I'm eating chicken nuggets. And someone had said something funny, and I started laughing right after I took a bite. And I swallowed as I was laughing and started choking. Well, Ben come up behind me and said, "Brother, you didn't down me in the match. You ain't down here." And he punched me as hard as he could in my back and spit the chicken nugget out. Now the whole thing with Ben, he's like, "You can't eat chicken nuggets unless I'm around."
Sounds like you with the steak.
I had a problem with a piece of steak one night. Well, I actually had a problem watching the Pacers and the Knicks and got upset and just decided not to chew my steak and try to swallow half a steak at one time, and it didn't go too well. Somebody had to give me the Heimlich, or I wouldn't be here right now. And that's where I quit getting upset about sports. I don't get upset about sports anymore. Hey, if you don't mind, if you got a couple more stories, we'd love to hear them.
Oh man, there's a lot. Okay, so I was wrestling for IWX for Spider Murphy, and Suicide Clyde was helping him out, and they're like, "Country, we want to do something with you, but we don't know what we want to do. But like, we want to work something where you're the biggest guy on the roster. You can't be body slammed, and everybody gets a shot to try to body slam you, and like the winner gets say $1,000 of prop money." I was like, no, because if you think about that, they did that same thing with Big John Studd. If you body slammed him, you're going to get the money. I was like, let's do it this way. If you don't mind me giving you a suggestion, they're like, no, we're open for it. I was like, if I get body slammed by anybody in the roster, I'll do a gay gimmick for a year. So there, show after show after show, people come out and body slam me. Well, Fixer comes out one night and he tries to body slam me. He's like, "Man, you're a big one." He goes the second time, and you're big. The third time, he gets me up, and I'm like, "Hey, Fixer, this is supposed to be gimmicked. I'm not supposed to get body slammed." He's like, "Yeah, I know," and he just dumps me. And I get to the back, and I'm like, "What the world just happened?" They're like, "We wanted to see it happen. We told Fixer to do it the third time." So I did a gay gimmick for a year.
Was that when you was wearing shorty shorts? I had a story. Somebody said something about asking you about Daisy Dukes or something. Is that having to do with that or?
No. That story. Mud Billy Nation. They do events and everything, and like they're different events. They had on June. It was not 2 weekends ago. They had a group come out there and do a music shoot, and they wanted people to like dress up, and like girls will wear short shorts, like their Daisy Dukes and boots for the music video. And I told Honey, which is the lady that runs it, I was like, "I'm gonna show up wearing Daisy Dukes." She's like, "You won't do it." I was like, "I will do it." And so that's where that story comes from.
Yeah, I heard it this past weekend, but I think Chris Chaos said it.
Yeah, well, I went to when I went to Mud Billy this past weekend because they had an event. I actually took and made Daisy Dukes and wore them because I told her I was going to do it. And when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it because I've always been told your word's king.
I don't know if this is another story or maybe the one you've already told, but Jennifer Clausen mentioned something about Clyde's story.
Which one? Oh, my. I don't know. I would need to share that story. If it's the one she's talking about, I don't think I need to share that story.
All right, we're going to have you on next so you can tell us the
I would just
story.
say, I would just say this: it cost us getting through out of a motel room. Any story? There's too many. There's too many stories with Clyde. There's a good Clyde story. Since she wants a Clyde story, um, I was wrestling for a company by the Lifeline. I was their heavyweight champion, and Clyde had showed up at the show one night, and he was like, "Hey, where's Overdrive, which was the promoter?" And I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "Well, I'm gonna find him." I was like, "Okay." So Clyde comes back to me like 10 minutes later, and he was like, "Hey, it's me and you, title versus career. Okay, what are we doing? Falls count anywhere. All right." So we get in the ring, and at this time, I was still hailing from Pekin, Indiana, the Washington County area. And as the ring announcer announced the match, he was like, "This is something I'm not used to." They both hail from Black Mountain, Kentucky. We locked up. Like me and Clyde we didn't talk about anything in the match. We locked up. Clyde said, "You're over, kid." He's like, "I love you, son. Keep my legacy alive because I can't do this no more." So that's where the whole Black Mountain come from, because that's where Clyde hailed from.
Okay.
And then I ended up beating him. And then it was a crying fest because in the middle of the match, because he had some health problems. In the middle of the match, he ended up having a seizure.
Oh man.
So like he come out of it quick. We took the match home, and he hugged me, and he's like, "I love you, son." He's like, "I'm proud of you."
And did that end up being his final match?
Well, it was his final match for a while, and then he ended up coming back to do one last show for Bobo, and it was me and him. He wanted this final match to be me.
Cool. I mean, I'm sure that means a lot to you.
It does.
Any other ones?
No, I think we're good to go.
Got anything else, Marcus?
No, my list has been scratched off. I think between the three of us, we figured it out.
You got any shows coming up that you'd like to promote?
I got a whole list of shows, and they're all for 5-star. Which um next Saturday, June 3rd, which is Thunderstruck, is the name of the show. It'll be at the arena in Jeffersonville. That's going to be a good show. Um, if people's been following 5-star, they're going to know that me and Levi. Because right now, like I took some time off from wrestling. I was going to have the gastric sleeve done, which I decided against it. So while I was in the process of doing all that, I was to become 5-stars higher power, so I could still be a part of the show. And Levi Motionless has kept hitting me, attacking me, trying to get me to attack him. But that'll be a show where we set up for the July 8th show, and then maybe not 100% yet, but June 30th is we make our maybe making return to Mudbilly, it's where they do the mud bogs, and then July 1st at the arena. July 8th is the 18 and over show, and then August 5th at the arena. And all those are for 5-star.
Gotta stay busy.
Yeah.
Is 5-star the only one you're working for right now?
Yeah. Yes. Steven is supposed to be getting with me and Ben to come back to JICW. But we don't know when that's going to be. Well, then Doomsday, when they run, I'll be wrestling for. When they come back, I'll be wrestling for them.
Doomsday, where do they run at?
Jeffersonville.
Jeffersonville.
Out of the arena. Out of the arena. Yeah.
Scott Diamond was talking about that one night because Scott Diamond works for that Doomsday group.
All right. There's a lot of different promotions that run out of that arena.
Yeah, I told you I wish I lived in the apartment. I wouldn't have to go anywhere.
That's true, Marcus, but that's a pretty rough neighborhood.
Hey, they've got it all lit up now. I mean, we come out of that arena from Saturday, and I think every one of them put a high-powered beam in their light sockets because that building is lit up like you wouldn't believe now. So
that time we were there, then somebody just got thrown off a balcony.
Yeah, I just got thrown off a balcony
or something at that part.
Yeah, the first time we went there.
I have a funny story about the.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
There's a funny story about those apartments. So I was doing a show. I don't remember what show I was doing, but it was at the arena. And this guy, he was dressed in a Spider-Man costume, climbing up the side of the building, like those apartments right across, right near the arena. Turns around and starts, hollering, "Go, Webb, go!" And the dude just literally jumps off and hits the ground and gets up and takes off running.
That sounds like I'm a hell of a place to live.
We're like, dude, are you all right?
You'd be entertained, Marcus.
Yeah, I would. If I can't get, wrestling 2-3 days a week and the residents of the building the rest of the time. So,
yeah, you'll see a Spider-Man show. And, yeah. I had a grandson do that one time, but not off a building. He was only about 5. He thought he was Spider-Man, and he jumped real high off the trampoline and out onto the yard.
Yeah, he said, "Dad, watch." He acted like he shot a web and jumped head first off the damn trampoline. Boom, flat on the ground.
It didn't work out too well.
Marcus, Kelly shut down that idea.
Yeah, well, she's no fun tonight, is she?
No.
She's afraid I'll run over to New Albany to the titty show.
Kelly, you got to have fun.
You heard it, Kelly.
Have fun.
But just think of it. I wouldn't have to go anywhere. They run so many shows out of that building that, I could.
You could.
Yeah, they run shows on
You could get your record just walking across this drive.
Yeah. Hey, Kelly wouldn't have to drive all the time.
Yeah, Kelly, listen to this. We'll cross the river going to Louisville or something.
And the titty show's not too far away. So
and there's about
15 minutes.
And there's 100 different Mexican restaurants.
Yeah, you can have all the Mexican food you want. And that's only 2 blocks.
At Ohio Valley Restaurant on the other side of the river. Think about that. So,
but then you got that new promotion that just started, the Derby City or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Hey, you got your favorite promotion. Marcus, you got your favorite promotion there too.
Oh, Travis, Travis, when we're done, stay on. We need to talk about stuff, but we can't do it live. So,
okay.
Hey, look, boobs, liquor, and tacos. Love it. See?
that came from a female. A female.
Yeah, boobs, tacos.
And wrestling. Don't forget wrestling. Boobs.
And don't forget wrestling, Jen.
I don't know about you, Marcus. I don't drink, so we'll take the liquor out and add wrestling in. Boobs, wrestling, and tacos. So I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm sure your wife won't.
Jennifer.
I am, so that's my end.
Yeah, the cool thing about Jennifer, she's coming up July 8th to go to the Titties and Beer show, and she's driving all the way up here from Alabama.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Yeah.
Kelly said, I'd rather go fishing.
You're right there at the Ohio River, Kelly. I mean,
Marcus, go to the wrestling show, you go to the river.
there she got it right. Wrestling, boobs, liquor, and tacos. I have to say that'd be a first.
All right. Well, was there anything else that you wanted to talk about before we get out of here?
No, not really. Do you guys have any more questions for me?
No, I think we're good to go. It's been a pleasure having you on, though. It's been fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Welcome.
I appreciate it. It's been fun.
Welcome to come back anytime.
Yeah, anytime.
Anytime you want me to come back,
okay.
Well, I would definitely do that.
It'd be awesome.
We'll have him after the 8th and find out how the titty show went. Clyde stories, Levi Evans stories, and Ben stories, and titty stories. I mean, we fill an hour, I'm sure.
Right. What happened? Well, we just did country things.
But no, we appreciate everybody watching. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at GonzoSportsRoom. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all at GonzoSportsRoom as well. We greatly appreciate it. That's where we post all the information about our upcoming shows. We do have another interview tomorrow with Christian Cash and Justin Terrell. Both going to be on at the same time, talk about a big cage match they got coming up this Saturday night. So join us tomorrow at 5:30 for that. We thank Big Country for coming on and joining us. He just said, it's been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We hope everybody enjoyed the show, and we will see you guys next time here on G.W.R.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.